suppose I might as well start early since someone has already arrived. Hello, it's me again, it's Rambler. Hi, John. Yes, I did book the Fridays off. John is making fun of me because we're co-workers, and I booked a whole bunch of Fridays off so I could do these little painting Wraithguard streams. And I have one more, and that'll be the last painting Wraithguard stream. Regardless of how finished I get them... Hello, John. Regardless of how finished I get them today, I will... next week, I will try and get them done and have them ready for that final stream, but it might not happen, in which case I will just finish them off in my own time and then share it with all you lovely folks. Let's get started already, because I started an hour earlier, because I'm trying to account for some weird time zone shenanigans. There's a stream that I usually raid after I do these, and unfortunately, it's in a time zone that has just gone into daylight savings when we haven't done that yet, so I'm going to start doing that. Let me know if you can hear my good music. We're starting off with the classic YouTuber song. I just shuffled the playlist this morning and this is how it's sounding. Am I a good volume compared to my good noises? You gotta let me know. I'm assuming you're at work, John. My voice is doing an echo. I'm not sure what I can do about that specifically, but the problem is I am in a house and I don't have soundproofing foam, but... Oh! No, I know what it is. My voice was doing an echo and now it shouldn't be, because my, this camera also has a microphone. Not a very good one. You thought I was doing an intro effect, that's very funny. No, I'm not. But today, we've got the white paint out. We're making these lads white. It was double voice. Just like Harvey Firestein, they got the double voice. I do not actually have the double voice. Let's see. Can you see what I'm doing? Let's boost up that light a bit. Hello! Hi, High Intensity Viking. I'm going to quickly, I need to start painting, but I've got to do some shout-outs. First, I've got to shout out John, who has been doing a great job of playing Elden Ring, and you should follow him. And also, you should follow High Intensity Viking, who just did their first Skyrim stream last night, which I couldn't watch because it was at 2 in the morning for me, but I believe in their powers and I think you will enjoy them. I think you will enjoy their work. Let's get this battle lit. There we go. That's one more tweak. One more tweak and then we can start. It's always fine until you want to stream, right? That's how this works. There we go. Let's get painting. I don't know how perfect this is going to be, but it's nice to have a go. Most edges. Oh, I managed to splash a bit onto my man's head already. That's no good. I'll have to work around that. But yeah, you start to get the very lightest parts of it. This is my little boy here is quite harshly lit, but that's all right. We're just working through it. Nice bold whites. There you go. Then we'll do the back as well. Make sure I'm not letting my brush get too clogged up with white paint, because I don't want it to be too strong, if you know what I mean. That should do. Oh, don't want to get it on the... This is the part where I have to be careful because I do not want to get it on the base model itself. Have a little bit of here. A little bit of a port on the green, but I should be able to. Should be ignorable enough. I think that looks alright. It's a little bit blown out on this screen because I've got my good camera, but that's alright. Really white. There we go. You're very welcome, High Intensity Viking. I'm glad you finally bit the bullet. I know I said that in the Discord, but I'm gonna say it again. I'm very glad. I appreciate when people have things that they want to share with the world and they gain the confidence to do it. That's why I stream. I was just like, you know, I like the idea of being able to make things and share that, even if what I make is videos about playing video games or painting miniatures for a different game. Looking how I want it. yeah, my bat's looking a little bit bright. It sounds like for orb, you dig it. Excellent, I'm glad you like it. Let me turn down the brightness a little bit now because it's too bright. Let's see, 22? 19. Let's go 19. See how that works. Just want it to be visible, but not too visible. And turn down the brightness here as well. Still want it to be so dark that you can't see what I'm doing. Let's see if I can't refocus this a little bit. That'll do. Make sure my brush remains damp. The thing I'm struggling with is this is quite new paint, whereas all the other paints I tend to work with on this stream are very, very old paints. So not quite used to paints that actually run and have like thickness that is not determined by me. Well, I could probably determine it if I were so inclined, but I haven't done that so far. Yeah, something like that. It does still look a little bright. There you go. So I've got, the underside is still dark because the light will be hitting from above, and so you won't get the light underneath it. That's my justification for it anyway. Just wiping it on the back of my hand. I imagine these guys would go a little bit quicker than my previous attempts at painting the whole model, just because I'm not going to be like, the gun is highlighted enough. I don't want to add white highlights to it because it's supposed to be a black gun. You grew up in the NES first generation era. You're thinking back to how many hours you spent hanging out at a friend's house watching them play games. That's exactly what game stream remind you of when done correctly, which, not to be too awkward, you are doing it. Thank you, I appreciate that. Just feels like hanging out with a friend, showing a companionship and struggle with the game. Probably reading into dip, but that's why I love. Yeah, I think like literally the first, the first person I ever watched on Twitch really wasn't like any big, internet famous person. It was literally, it's my friend Sally who moderates this stream. She was the first real like Twitch streamer that I was watching, just because we were already friends and she was playing video games that she liked, and I wanted to see that. And then I kind of just, I only, decided to think about doing it myself, I don't know, sometime at the end of 2020, maybe the middle of 2020? But it wasn't a serious thing until, like, I had my own place and I could actually think about starting to do that. Yeah, it's been fun so far. I've always liked the idea of creating, in general, but it's definitely, let's see if I can't introduce some depths and complexities to this. If I go with a really thin white first and then build it up, then that should hopefully look pretty nice. Yeah. Not too dark, not too white. Try and keep some of that complexity in there. We'll see how it goes. Obviously I need to build it up fairly well because I've got this white splotch in the middle, so that part will have to be very, very white indeed to try and do something about that. But we'll see how it goes. I need to be careful of the fact that I need to put my paint on here to do this. Let's see if I can't blend this part in as well. focusing real hard because white doesn't tend to go on super well, so I'm trying to really think about it. And I bought this new white specifically for this stream, so I have to be very careful with how I apply it. Obviously it looks very good now because I have quite a bright light on, so it's washing out a lot of the tabletop role-playing. Yes, something along those lines. I don't know if you, this might be just because I'm big into my comics, but, well, maybe not that big, but basically there's a comic that some of my friends introduced me to called The Wicked in the Divine, which is, the fluff premise is that every 90 years the gods get reincarnated as humans, they live for 2 years, and then they die until the next cycle. So that's the premise, but the story is really about, like, the interplay between fan and celebrity, and it sort of starts off with the concept of the big name fan, which is where someone who isn't a god, but who knows a lot about the gods and wants to be a god, but it's not necessarily a guarantee that you become one, and the desire to create, how people who create end up with, like, followers, and how that can become toxic unless you take really specific, you know, steps and limitations to try and curtail it. It finished in 2019, and I think it's a really, really good story. I really appreciated what it was going for. It's nice at least if this stuff dries really well. Yeah, got that kind of thing going on. I'm trying to give it a three-dimensionality, which sounds like a meta-narrative about the internet. There is literally, I don't want to spoil it too much, but there is a chapter of the story where someone is dealing with horrific online harassment. So it's definitely, like, I think the story's set in 2014. That's when it was, like, when they started publishing it. And so, yeah, it really does touch on those themes. And, oh boy, that goes places. I should say this comic is not for children. There are, you know, people have a big thing that happens fairly often in that story is that people get their heads exploded, and that's a running theme. Is like, who keeps exploding heads? That sort of thing. That kind of murder mystery. I think I'm going to get this perfect, but definitely happier with how it's looking. Let's see if I can't get a single line going under there. Perf. Oh, that was a little thick. A little thicker than I wanted, but I can work with it. Whoa. We're in the disco now. Yeah. A mind-blowing yeah, I would definitely recommend it. It's by Kieran Gillen and Jamie McElvey. Is his name pronounced Gillen or Gillen? I think it's Gillen. Like, it looks like it's pronounced Gillen. Mind-blowing concept. You just wanted to make the good puns. Yes. I appreciate the puns. Oh yeah, this is, I just went with a lot of, like, I've got synthwave on here, I've got funk on here, I've got disco. I've just got a lot of different things, which I think the main thing I was trying to do is not go with chill hop. That's the, not chill hop, but anything that I listened to and I was like, yeah, I could tolerate listening to this for a few minutes. Yeah, I think this guy is looking pretty good. So yes. I mean, like, compare this one to, say, this one. If I put my hand over here, the colours come through a little bit easier. It just really, like, that is, you know, the contrast is incredible, etc. I don't think it's a perfect thing, but I wasn't going for anything perfect, just better than I did when I was 7. So yeah, let's move on to a new one. They'll get better as I go along as well. Let's start with another loincloth. Another one. There we go.
Please log in the information requested. What is your password? Your password has been accepted.
I feel like at some point I should probably, like, rep the service that I actually use, but it's a complicated one because it's to do with my place of work, and I don't want to accidentally dox myself by, like, saying where I work, because that's no good. Let's do the back of this. Back to the front in a second. Oh yeah, that's a good shout. It's always good to have some DMCA-free material. This is not strictly DMCA material, but I have the license for the music, so I can use it on my Twitch and on my YouTube, which is very fun. Every week I export my videos to YouTube, and all of my Wraithguard ones get a bunch of copyright claims, and I go, no, I have the license keys! You step back! But then, like, considering that this is my co-workers having to read through all of these dispute claims, I wonder whether they realise that it's me. I suppose it depends on who's doing it, like... It'd be funny. I might ask at some point, but I don't want to, feels a bit like bragging, you know? I don't want to be like, so, did you notice the fact that I have Twitch VODs? It's a little bit egotistical, which I think you can't do this Twitch thing without having at least a little bit of an ego, but it's still good to keep it in moderation. Like, by that I don't mean like you have to be so self-important or whatever, but you just kind of have to have like at least a little integrity to be able to go, no, I can produce half-decent content. Half content. You know what I mean. Like, it's that attempt at self-confidence, you know? Without deciding that you are, you know, God's gift to Earth. It's a balance. I don't know if I always get it right, but I do try. I'm not exactly God's gift to video games, for sure. God, 007 Nightfire. Very taxing. Didn't intend to go for a full hour last night, extra, but... Oh, well, the statement about self-importance coincides with dropping the link. I just, listen, you know, it's, you gotta be aware of the fact that sometimes you have the butterfingers, and that's also fine. Yeah, this is, I'm increasingly pleased with how this is going. I've also got my, this is an example, because I think we'll probably be able to finish this way before the stream ends. I've got my reds so that I can paint the gems on these guys as well. They're little gems. They only have 2 per model, so that should be good. Oh, irony. Sweet, bitter irony. There we go. Lush. Let's do back again. You missed the beginning. What mini is this? So there are 5 of them in total, and these guys are Wraithguard, which is Warhammer 40,000 unit, and their deal is that they are from the Eldar, who are space elves, who, for various reasons, can't afford to die without taking precautions because their souls will get eaten by a kinky Hellraiser god. So they always carry these like gemstones on their chests, and the idea is that when they die, their soul goes into the stone instead of into the Hellraiser dimension. What these guys are is sometimes there's not a lot of them because most of them got eaten by the Hellraiser god, and sometimes they need a few extra people, a few reinforcements, and what better reinforcements than your own dead? They're not keen on the fact that they have to do this, but when you're slowly dying out to Hellraiser god, needs must, and sometimes you have to commit pretty bad actions, like using your own dead. You would like to sign up for Kinky Hellraiser God? Okay, well their name is Slanesh, so if you wanna learn more about Kinky Hellraiser God, then I can put their name in the chat. That's Slanesh, that's who you wanna look up, and you'll learn that they are extremely fun so long as you haven't already given up your soul to them by accident. More than that. Oops, all soul sales final. Yeah, they didn't. The soul sale thing was more like they accidentally created the god, because they went through a post-scarcity phase, however many thousands of years ago, and they were doing so good at being a civilization that they had literally nothing else to do, and they started a whole bunch of Hellraiser cults, and they did that so much that their usual soul reincarnation thing instead got turned into a Hellraiser god, so. Everything in moderation, including literally filling your soul dimension with lots and lots of scary things. Which is not to say that kink is scary, just... Maybe don't kill people and drink their, like, essence for your kink, I guess? as a wild universe. Even moderation in moderation. Yes, it occurs to me that I don't actually have any moderators here at the moment, but I think that's fair because they also have lives, and in at least one case, they would have to wake up at some ridiculous hour of the morning to make it worthwhile, which, hopefully they're not going to do that. I'd rather my moderators got some rest. I could probably sort something out. If I need more moderators, I can organise that in my own time while I'm not streaming. Ungovernable! Exactly. You could all do anything, but I'm assuming you're mainly just gonna chill. I trust you lot. And at least one of you, if you started messing around, I would come and find you in real life and have a stern discussion about it, but you don't strike me as the type. Probably a little passive-aggressive for a stream, but what can you do? What can you do, eh? I do like the tunes, is the thing. I know I handpicked them, but I like the tunes. I looked up the, because the music library that I'm quite interested in, just from a, hobbyist perspective, because, you know, library music as a hobby, that's a thing that people have, that's normal, if you're my age. I'm quite interested in the KPN library, which is a big British, very famous library as far as libraries go, because they supply for a lot of things like the BBC and all the sort of channels and things. It's where they get the theme tune to things like Countdown and Grandstand, Wimbledon. Those are all Mastermind, things like that all come from KPM. And so it's a very interesting music library. But I checked the prices for like online content creators, and it's something like 150 quid per track. Like if you want to have access to the whole track. And let me tell you, I don't have that kind of money. I get why they're expensive, like this is some of the most iconic music of library music, but hoo-wee mama, doesn't work very well for my needs. Oh, shoot. Okay, that didn't sufficiently damage it for me to worry about it. Let's go back to this loincloth again. I'm holding it in place this time, so it won't escape. That's alright to me. Yeah, there is a lot of royalty-free music, and like, it should go without saying, there's a couple of Kevin MacLeod songs in my setup, and he's just really good to use because he's so prolific in so many different genres. And it's nice. I think the big thing regarding KPM, one of the big reasons why I'd be interested in them is because they have a lot of vintage library music, so stuff from the 70s and 80s, which I really like the sound of, but could not ever afford to use myself. I did a video about library music, which I'm just going to quickly self-promo. I have a Discord, I have a YouTube channel where I keep my VODs, but on the same YouTube channel where I keep my VODs, I don't know if you're aware, but I have a half-hour video essay I did about library music and sort of the art-commerce intersection, as also applies to a video game journalism website, Polygon. But yes, there was a point I was going with this. When I did have to use some of the KPM music and other library tracks for that to supplement my analysis points, but I had to be very, very, very clear that I was using the music for analysis and not just as background fluff, because the laws of it's not called fair use in the UK, but I forget what it's called over here, but you really have to use it for analysis and evaluation, not just as, background music like I'm using here, because otherwise you will get copyright claimed. I mean, you might even get copyright claimed without it, but at least this way I can somewhat protect myself. Somewhat. It's not ideal, but I think I managed to find something that worked, and people really liked that video, which I was honestly I know, it's a fairly novel concept, and I suppose people like it when people do niche things, but I was still kind of wow, I didn't expect the response it got. People were very, very nice in the comments, and I appreciated that. I did have one person who was like, I couldn't make it through this video, and it's I just replied, yeah, fair enough. I don't get why people actually comment that, but I also appreciate the fact that the video is quite long, and if that's not your thing, then you're gonna struggle. So, yes. I think there's possibly such a thing as too brutally honest, and that's coming from an autistic person. I'm great at being blunt, but not everything needs to be told to everyone all the time, if that makes sense. It's a lesson I'm still learning. I'm not perfect at this either. That's all we can do. Just learn. Yeah, it was nice. I was happy with how that went. This is a lot of me talking about library music. This is great. Let me think about something else to talk about. Oh, I know what I want to talk about. There's another thing that I'm very excited about, which is Monster Hunter, a franchise that I truly did not give a shit about until approximately sometime last year in April, May-ish time, because I had a lot of friends who were getting into it. I've played it on stream before, but I truly, truly did not care about it until then, when Monster Hunter Rise came out, and I was like, I might as well have a go at this, even if it doesn't really seem like my thing. But oh boy, has it become my thing, and now there's going to be a DLC for that game. So, I am very much looking forward to it. It looks like it's going to be very European themed, specifically a lot of monster folklore, so things like vampires and werewolves and spooky gothic elements, which I am quite keen on, even though I did quite enjoy the very sort of feudal Japanese aesthetic of the base game as well. Hell yeah, let me fight a wyvern or dragon thing that is also a vampire. Love that. I'm a dual blades main. There are other weapons. I have... Ooh, my camera! I saw that out of my corner of my eye. Saw it happen. How can this happen to me? Let me deactivate my view. Plug my camera back in. Turn the thing back on. Activate. Switch. Let's see if this works. One moment, please. Let's switch this off again. Switch it on again. Ooh, come on, you can do better than that, Elgato. You can do better than that. Activate! Yes! There we go. Man. All over it. I am not letting this one get away from me, you know? Let's have a go with this head some more. That's quite watery. Probably could have gone with something a little less watery, but oh well. Oh well, indeed. There we go. Hell yeah, that's looking better. Too weird, couldn't finish. Yeah, people will just say things and not really think about it. And again, I'm guilty of the same thing. All you can do is try and be mindful, and if you do end up hurting someone, apologise for it, because no one's above it. That's my thought. The only way that you can be better is by accepting when you're not, you know? Oh, look at Rambler was so high and mighty talking about their self-accountability or whatever, when they're meant to be painting Wraithguard. I'm happy with that. I'm trying to leave a little bit of like shadow in these recesses because it just gives it a little bit of depth. So yeah, I think that's pretty good. Let's move on to another one. It was an experimental book. What was it about? Like, if you have a link, you know that as a VIP you can put links in my chat. I'm more than happy for you to self-promote in here. Like, friends are allowed to self-promote. Not friends. I don't know. I think it's a tricky one. Like, I don't necessarily see myself as being in competition with anyone, really. Plus the whole not trying to make it all about me, even though it's my stream. I think it's important to have that nuance. right. Backside! Always got to get the backside. But yeah, it's only 12:16. I'm going until 2:30 today, thereabouts. So yeah, I think we're going to have plenty of time to do the things that we want to do. I'm going to focus on the white bits, and then I'm going to try and focus on the gems. And then if I have any time after that, I'm going to start, because that will basically be all of the main model done. But I still have the base to worry about. I need to put a bit of white on this. Missed it. There we go. Yeah, something like, whoops, something like that. Always dropping. I do not claim to have perfect steady hands. I mean, hell, you see I've painted my nails today, and I am left-handed, so you can see where my right hand's nails are fairly well done, but my left hand's nails are a little bit squiffy. I can't really see it very well, but yeah, I wanted to bust out the beetle nails for because it's March and I saw a ladybird yesterday, and it's springtime and I'm excited, so I decided it was time for beetle nails. Yeah, I think that's alright for there. Nice little cloth. Gun! Hi, I'm Derek Bum. Say goodbye to daily stains and dirty surfaces with new kitchen gun. Someone did a remix of that with Big Shot from Deltarune Chapter 2, which I enjoyed very much, even if I haven't. Here's the thing about me. I have not played a Deltarune, I have not played an Undertale. I have experienced them via osmosis because I have watched some walkthroughs, and it's sort of an inescapable franchise. Not in a bad way, just it's quite ubiquitous. But yes, it's been the music good. God, how much of my cultural perception boils down to the music good? And is that actually a problem? Because I don't think it is. Yeah, John, I get what you mean. It took me a long time to get even slightly okay at painting. And it's also a hobby which I tend to take quite long gaps between as well, so I fully get it. And yeah, I actually haven't played the game in a very long time, but I still enjoy the fluff, which is what they call the lore, and the designs of everything. And as I've promised before, I am fully planning on playing a Warhammer 40,000 video game on this stream. it also takes a lot of willpower to get just like one thing and not to buy any more till you do the point. Sort of, although ironically the fact that the things are so fucking expensive does help mitigate that slightly. So like, these models that I'm painting right now, these are not actually the current Wraithguard. The current Wraithguard are a lot, like, they're bigger and they are made of plastic. These guys are from sometime in the late 90s, early 2000s, and they are pewter. Like, that's why I can do that. Makes a good funk sound. So yeah, that's me being skinty, partly. But also, you know, the desire to see how I've changed and progressed is hard to resist. After all, why not? Why shouldn't I see how well I've gotten, how good I've gotten at painting in the years between? Well and truly, it is cyberpunk time once again. Yeah, they do tend to be made of parts. These guys have parts. The head and this part are a single unit that pulls out, but I pre-glued them all together before painting them because it's easier, and like the very deep crevices you don't need to really worry about in here because it's not gonna affect things too much, I tend to find. Yeah. Gun! Let's do this head. I think I'm pondering, there's a stage in this paint job that I might skip over just to save on time in stream, and also because it doesn't tend to be that interesting, which is repainting the bases, because they're all going to be this, it is a colour called Snakebite Leather, which Games Workshop don't actually make anymore outside of a kind of all-in-one wash, but this is the original. That's the real deal, the original. But yes, that tends to be I'm just painting this base and it's all going to be one solid colour, and that's not very interesting. But the part that will be interesting is putting like the grass down and putting the I have these almost like transfer tattoos which I can stick onto the top of these guys' heads, so they'll have like this little, almost like an infinity symbol that will be plastered across their face, and a little heart placed onto that loincloth. But yes. That'll be that, eventually, but we'll see how it goes. I might start. There's a word your brain is refusing to conjure, articulated but sort of like the arm is attached in a way where you get a choice of angle to glue it on, so not all your troops are identical. I mean, yeah, I think articulated is probably the right way of doing it. Some people go the extra mile and they will attach magnets to the, like, they will drill like holes into the miniatures and put magnets in so that they can swap out different parts, which I have a deep admiration for, but also, oh my god, that's so much work. That's for people who, like, those are the main wargamer hobbyists who do that. And I respect them, but I also fear them. It's brighter than what I wanted. I'm going to go back and fix over here as well, which is not ideal. I reckon I can go. Leave that part darker. Here, this. Oh, the Gundams and stickers are where your patience ends. You try with big, obvious ones, then give up after you screw one up. Yeah, the stickers are, I don't think that, yeah, if you can see in the background of the, I'll quickly go to full cam, I have one of my Gundams there in the background, and they don't have any stickers on them, I think. I decided to just paint everything where a sticker would normally go, because it's easier for me to just do it myself with the paint skills that I have, which are decent enough. That's how I put it. It gets the job done, you know? Gets the job done. Alright. Let's get in here. There we go. Okay, that's enough for that part of the head. Let's change temp, give it a chance to dry, and I'll do the top part. But yeah, you've got like some fairly impressive gunpla, don't you, John? You've got, what is it? Gundam Astray Red Flame is the one that you're usually telling me about. I appreciate that one. It's got a certain panache to it, but I only have Gundam Epion from Gundam Wing, mainly because I already have the Warhammer as an expensive hobby. I kind of need to limit the amount. Well, no, I have the Warhammer as an expensive hobby, and I have the streaming as another expensive hobby, so I have to be mindful of not having too much outflow, so to speak. Yeah, that's looking alright. Let's give a little bit more love to this face. Some face paint. easier if you have thinner coats because you can build it up. That's what I find. Easy a little bit. Let me quickly give my paint a shake. There we go. Refilled my thing. What if I need a little bit less? Just gently try and get some of that out. Yeah, something like that will do. You really must finish the build. That was recording, was recording, and that requires a really specific setup. Oh, you're telling me about really specific setups, John. Like, I've got my light here, I've got my camera with its silly little, I'm taking a photo live of my setup, so you can see exactly the hellscape that I have to slog through whenever I do one of these, streams. Like, with the video games, it's easy. I'm just posting this in my Discord. This is not appropriate streamer conduct, but whatever. This is... There you go. If you want to check that out, that image, you can go to my Discord. And also, I have a VODs channel. I'm just... Also, that sentence you wrote was bad? Listen, no one can always get it perfect. That's just life. Go quiet because I'm trying to get this extremely good. I think I'll do. Yeah. Thank you for recognizing the bangers. The bangers are a very important component of the stream, and I'm glad that they're being appreciated. Another one! This really does have that pop punk progression, so I just like think of Firework by Katy Perry whenever I hear it. I don't know why that's my pop punk progression thought that comes to mind, but it's definitely a specific one. But like do you ever feel like a plastic bag? Feel so paper thin, wanting to start again. I don't know the lyrics in that song. But you know what I mean. Same chord progression, same hat. I don't know that this artist would necessarily be happy with me comparing them to Katy Perry, but I don't know. We use chord progressions for a reason. Familiar ones. We're trying to convey a message over. Let's see this behind. Oh wow, a lot of this has been smushed, I think. I'm going to start here, which is a little counterintuitive, but I have a plan in mind. Now, I'm not saying that this is a Kevin McLeod, but I'm not saying it's not a Kevin McLeod. Forgot to close my phone. Let's get back over here. By the way, thank you two for just coming and having a chat and a natter. I really appreciate it. I can technically do all these just by myself, but it's always better when there's people to bounce off of. Caught it. There you go. Now, does that actually look better, or should I just? I'm just gonna get rid of that. I don't think it looks. I don't think it improves the state of affairs. There we go. Lush. Just paint a bit of paint on the brush for my little. Oh, I need to do the back of this before I forget. I need to move this mic. I've been very quiet for a while. There we go. That's better. Now you can hear all of my ramblings. For what is this channel, if not for rambling? Hell yeah. That's what you want to see. That's what you want to see. And by you, I mean me. Me, I want to see that. Oh, ooh, that went on like a bit of jam. Bit of strawberry jam on there. There we go. Fixing it. Oh, don't touch the loincloth with your fingers, Rambler. Probably at a certain point you start to get real shaky hands, and I think I'm starting to hit that point, but I'm sure I can get over it. Yeah, there we go. Oh, splat. Good thing I've been painting the head last, eh? A little bit too much. That one went fairly painlessly. I'm happy with that. We get the whites on the top looking just a little lighter. It's important. Get those highlights. White is a very strange one to work with. It likes to be transparent a lot, but that's not ideal. So you have to kind of work with the paint, not against it. Except the fact that it wants to be kind of pale and translucent, and just gradually work it in rather than trying to slap it on all at once. That's the idea anyway. In practice I don't know whether it comes across so good, but life is for experimentation. Oh no! No SIG again! And I was doing a good job at painting then. How terrible. Oh, gotta do things in the right order. Awesome. Let's have a look. There we go. All over this. All over this shit. I always find it really funny because I tend to try and dress quite, like, more nicely when I'm streaming. So not just wearing, baggy shirts and baggy pants, except when I'm painting I also need to be aware of the fact that I could get it on myself and I don't want to ruin a good shirt for the sake of a stream. That's the idea anyway. Let's see how this is looking. This is looking pretty good, honestly. It's a little bit of extra love on the top. Ha, love on top. Just like Beyonce. Just like Beyonce. No false comparisons here. I think that'll do for the gun. Nice bit of gun shading. Now for blobs. Blobs. I love it when blobs. Yes. Blobs is important. Somewhat AFK. That's alright. As I always repeatedly say, no one is obligated to come to my streams. So the fact that you're, like, hanging out alone is very nice. Another thing that I did, which, because one of the things that is very interesting about Twitch is that you can see other people who are, like, I have other friends who are also streamers outside of this, who have mentioned having anxiety about the numbers, like seeing the viewer count and everything. And I saw that before I started streaming and I was like, that would never happen to me. And then it happened to me, you know, it happens. But the solution I found is literally just to switch my viewer count off. So now I'm just doing this because I'm here and I want to, and whether people come and hang out is their own prerogative, and it just gives me, it takes a little bit of the load off, you know? It takes the focus away from, oh, I must do content to be popular, and it's more, I am doing this because it's something I'm passionate about, and I hope that if anyone, even if they don't say anything, even if they're just quietly hanging out in the background, if I can give them just a little bit of joy by doing this, then job well done. Job's a good one. You have to kind of do that though, because I think that this platform might be a little bit engineered to try and increase that anxiety, to try and motivate people towards putting out more content more often, and the push for partner, etc. Which, like, let's be real, if I was trying to push for partner, this would have to become my full-time job, because that's what partners are. They are basically full-time Twitch people. Not all of them, like, you know, some of them are a bit more multimedia, but it's still very much a commitment to content, which I am fully not at that stage in my life, I don't think. I do not want to commit my life to content. I want to sit here and paint my Wraithguard. And play some video games. I think that's a little bit nicer for me. Because, you know, this is something I genuinely enjoy doing. My painting, my Wraithguard, playing video games, and I want to keep it that way. I want it to be something that's actually fun and not something that gives me anxiety. Getting real candid on the Twitch.television platform. But yeah, I think that's kind of how it works. I imagine John and Viking, you guys kind of have a similar ethos because you're also both streamers. I can't imagine that you haven't also dealt with similar things. I like the idea of being able to make another video essay along the lines of the library music one, but I would have to find a topic that I'm sufficiently motivated to do so, because that video, half an hour long, having to edit it in about, I think it took me about 6 months to write and 2 weeks to film and edit. Which doesn't sound like a lot, but that was like 2 weeks of continuous work. Like, just all day, every day editing, and it's great when you can, like, even when you're thinking, oh, I've stared at this too long, I don't think it's good anymore. You just have to go, well, you thought it was a good idea at the time, so try and remember that other people will be seeing it for the first time when you finish. But yes, you have to actually believe that other people might find it interesting, otherwise it does tend to... That kind of feeds back to the whole Twitch anxiety viewers thing. I think it's not so much about the viewers so much as making a meaningful connection with someone by doing what you do. It's not about the popularity, it's about the Lady Gaga-esque. If I've inspired one person out there, then that's all that matters. If there's one person in the audience who believes in me, etc. It's all very dramatic to have this, and to have this cyberpunk music going on in the background as well. It's great. Yeah. This is going pretty well. I've got 4 out of 5 done. Ooh. Oh no. Oh thank god, the head dried quickly enough that it didn't get bonked when I dropped it. Excellent. extremely happy about that. Let's see if I can't get a little bit of paint up here again. Get this really nice and covered. Yeah, that's looking good. Bit more on the face. Never too much. It's always just a bit. I think one more coat of that, maybe? If I just focus my efforts up here a little bit before that happens. Yeah. I think so. Yeah, that's looking pretty good. Yeah, doesn't look too different from its brethren. Number 5, the final one to be made white. Dropping. I like to put just a little bit of water in here just to. It's probably not the most sensible way of doing this, but I don't care. That's how I'm doing it. Just got to make my water. Gotta make my paint thin enough that I can perform. Painterly. Oh, that was a bit of a splodge. Oh, that actually collected quite well. Excellent. I like it when there's accidents, but they end up working in my favour. You know? I love that for me. Making sure I haven't missed anything. No. Yeah, I think that'll do for a moment. Let's go around the back and do this part. Yeah. I think that's going kind of thereabouts how I want it. Yes. Ooh, I've got a little bit on the back. Oops. Didn't mean to do that. Wish I had a little bit of thing to wipe that with, but it should be fine. I can just go over with some grey later if I need to. I'll do that in my own time. But it shouldn't need it. There we go. That's looking better. There we go. Nice. we are once again doing the gun for the final time, hopefully. Yes. Lush. Go to bed, I'm going to dream of these songs and have them so thoroughly stuck in my head. It's just my fate. My fate to have lots of licensed music in my head now. Yeah. Lush. Making a little white splatter mess on my black desk, which is nice. I'll go in with a soapy cloth and clean it up at a later stage. That stuff tends to come off fairly nicely. So it should be fine. Yeah, I think that's looking alright. Do I need to do anything else to it? Let me bring up one of the other ones. I think one more time over the top, and then that should be all good. Yeah. There we go. The old shaky hands, but it didn't stop me. Let's do this head now. The final step. This won't be the last time I'm using the white, full stop, but it does mean that the fact that it's only taken me, what, hour and a half to do these guys is very nice. Well, I say hour and a half, it'll probably be more like hour and 15 minutes once I've done this. That gives me loads of time to do the next step. And then maybe we'll even paint a base, which would be good. These bases won't need a lot of painting because they were pre-painted, and that's nicely one of the things I don't have to worry about too much. Oh, got a little bit on the gun. I can fix that at a later stage. Got some fixable black paints I can use. honestly surprised I didn't get more accidents along those lines. The other ones seem to have managed to avoid the guns entirely, avoid getting any splodges on them. But you can't win them all. That is just the way of it. Needs a little more water. Needs a little more water. There we go. I can't introduce a bit of a yeah, something like that. Add some to the top here. Possibly a little bit thick, but that'll be fine. I can work with it. Yes! That will do on that front. Oh, did I not do the back of this loincloth? Didn't do the back of this loincloth. Alright, we're going to be so careful. We're not going to drop this. We're going to keep this in place. We're going to add just the final touches of this. And it's going to turn out really good. I'm speaking it into existence. A little prayer. There we go. There we go. Nice. I'm going to very carefully put this back over here, and that's the fifth one done. Nice. Close my white paint. It's closed. Excellent. Now we can move on to our old, slightly wonky paints again. And this next step should take, like, I don't know how long it's going to take. Not very long, though. Just getting some of this white out of my paintbrush. I might take a 5-minute recess just to change my paintbrush. No, not change my paintbrush. Change my water, clean my paintbrush up a little bit. But it should be all good. I shall see you in a bit. I'm going to do it. So this part should go by very, very quickly, just because all we're doing is we're going to be touching up our little gemstones and making them sparkle. Because that's the thing you can do with this. I don't know how well I'm going to be able to show this on camera though, because the thing I'm working with is very, 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 very small. But we'll have a go. This is literally going to fly by, watch this. So there's one here. Just going to get this one here. Might need a slightly thicker, give this a bit of a treatment. Give this some very dark red. This one also gets to be a very dark red. This one's not going to be perfect because it's a, oh, you can already see it, nice. But yeah, it's not going to be perfect because there's kind of a weird thing on it, but that one's done. Let's move on to the next one. So you start off by just covering the whole thing in a very dark red colour. This is kind of Gemstones 101 when it comes to miniatures. Obviously, not all gemstones are red, but my ones are because it pops against the colour of the greens and the whites. So yeah, it won't be perfect. It kind of doesn't have to be because you're going for a gradient. That's the second one done. Number 3. Just a few little get some more paint loaded onto my brush. This one. There we go. And on here, do the same thing again. Just cover this bad boy in dark red. There we go. That one's also ready for the next step. I'm going to do the same thing over here. Dark reds. It doesn't make a huge difference because obviously I've been painting white continuously and white doesn't tend to do too much. It's when you have like really dark colours and then you try and paint a lighter colour using dark stained water, it looks real bad. But it's still good to clean your paintbrush and your palette and your etc. I don't have a palette, that's for smarter painters than myself, but your water, it's important to have it be clean. There we go. Number 4, and then number 5 I need to be slightly delicate handling because it's just been painted, but I did give it a few minutes while I went and sorted out my things and had some water, had a snack. Always important to keep up with your... Oh yeah, this one you can barely see anyway, so that's quite funny and fortuitous. So I won't need to do as much to this one because I physically won't be able to do that much to this one. So I'm just painting what I can see on it, making sure to correct any mistakes if I get it onto the shoulder pad. But yeah, that's number 5 done. And then we can put this one away! Throw that one aside. I don't need him anymore. Next up, Oh shit! My thing. I love it when my thing... You know, it's great when your thing deactivates while you're doing a little speedy paint.